I was born 25 years ago and diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at birth. The doctors told my parents that their 5-pound baby girl had a fatal genetic disease that would eventually destroy her ability to breathe. They told my parents that they should love me and cherish me, but not expect me to live to be an adult, as my life expectancy at that time was only 18 years old. I knew from an early age that I had a serious medical condition, having to endure surgeries, hospitalizations, terrible stomach aches and headaches, persistent coughing, hours of breathing treatments, and literally dozens of medications every day. But I did not know about the true implications of my disease until I was 10 years old. That is when the first of my friends with cystic fibrosis, Sarah Konofsky, lost her battle to CF just before her 13th birthday. Losing my friend, and the only other person that I knew at the time with CF, changed my outlook on life forever. Life would never really be the same. But with the help of my doctors, family, and great friends, I experienced many adventures and accomplishments throughout my life. Despite missing 2 to 3 days of school every week during high school because I was sick, I graduated and was accepted to UC Santa Barbara. I made it through college, and regardless of having to take a semester off to be hospitalized with pneumonia, I managed to graduate with honors and start my job working for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in San Diego. I lived in Australia twice, once during college and once afterwards. I have rappelled down mountains, gone skydiving, and bungee jumping. And during some of these adventures, I was actually sober. My life has been like a roller coaster ride, with periods of excitement and hope, tempered by huge doses of reality. The hope comes from people like you who have funded the incredible research progress supported by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. The thought that there are actually medications to correct the basic defect causing cystic fibrosis is beyond imagination. I wanted to be able to stand in front of you tonight and tell you that this year was different from all of the others, that I didn't face the same challenges with CF that I've had to endure every other year. But it is with a heavy heart that I tell you that this year was not different from the others. I had many of the usual physical challenges, including being in the hospital a couple of times, getting sick more times than I can count, and making trips to the emergency room for my incredibly painful intestinal blockages. While my friends spent their vacation days at the beach or on vacation, traveling, I spent mine sick at home or at the doctor's. And when my coworkers had their month-long winter vacation from work, I spent mine in the hospital. And while my friends were out celebrating on New Year's Eve, I rang in the new year in my hospital bed with a bottle of sparkling cider. Yes, I had my usual physical challenges from having cystic fibrosis. But the physical aspects of having cystic fibrosis always pale in comparison to the emotional ones. That is why it has always been so important to me to have people in my life who can truly understand what it is like to live with cystic fibrosis. Of course, this means others with CF. I have always had good friends with cystic fibrosis, friends who I can relate to and confide in. I would like to tell you about one of them, one who I've spoken about at this gala before. Some people live their whole lives and never find their soulmate. But I was lucky enough to meet mine at the age of 21. Her name is Leslie Patrone. Leslie and I met when I started working at the CF Foundation in San Diego, and we quickly became best friends. We connected on a level that I have never experienced with anyone in my life, but our connection went so much deeper than the fact that we both had CF and could relate to each other's struggles. She taught me countless life lessons and changed my perspective on the world. She taught me to always give love and to keep my heart open. She taught me not to be afraid of hospital stays and IVs and surgeries. She taught me to always tell the people in my life how much I appreciate them. But most of all, She taught me to believe in myself, and to believe in a cure for CF and a better life. Every single time Leslie and I spoke, we would tell each other how much we loved each other. So much sometimes that I think her husband would get jealous. I would visit her often when she was in the hospital. We would sit in the lobby so that we could spend time together. We would look into each other's eyes, wearing our protective face masks, and we would cry. We cried because we wanted so much more for each other in this life. And we cried because we were so happy that we had found each other. There aren't too many people we come across in this life who change who we are. But she changed me to the core. My strength and courage comes from her, and my determination to fight this battle against CF and win comes from her. She had some health scares, but always bounced back from them. And even when she was struggling the most, she always remained so positive and optimistic. This past summer, Leslie's health took a turn for the worse. She was in intensive care and on a ventilator. I was not allowed to see her in person, so we would Skype. She couldn't talk because of the ventilator, but she would look into my eyes and mouth the words, "I love you," over and over. In October, the unthinkable happened, and Leslie passed away. A very large part of my heart died along with her that day. Even saying those words out loud, they still don't make any sense to me. Leslie was supposed to be a bridesmaid in my wedding one day. She was supposed to be there to hold my first child. She was supposed to be here so that we could help each other through this life with CF. I will never fully recover from the loss of my soulmate, but I know that her spirit lives on within me, and I am more determined than ever to beat this disease for me and for her. Every year I try to think of how to properly thank you for all of your support. It is so important to me that you realize both how critical it is and how much it is appreciated. I hope that you understand better this year, knowing that your support and the research funded by this event, for the first time, actually saved lives. That is such an amazing thing. But as you can see, we are still losing too many precious lives to this disease. Leslie's life motto was believe. Leslie believed in the kindness of people. She believed that every person should have hope for a bright future. And she believed that one day there would be a world without cystic fibrosis. I believe that Leslie was right, and all of you here tonight are the proof. Because of the kindness of people like you, I have hope for a bright future and a world without cystic fibrosis, where all of us can breathe deeply and live fully. Thank you so much.